Okay, go ahead.
Get those nerds!
All right, everyone. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Bid Nerd, your daily nerd on the most interesting cars of the day from all the automotive enthusiast auction sites. My name is John Polnik. I'm going to hit my lower third there because, in case you didn't believe me, we're recording this show from the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas. If you're ever in downtown Las Vegas, come and see us. Along with my partner, Michael Deeb, who is not here in the Container Park. He is in his brand new studio. Check that out, you guys. Look at Michael Deeb's new background. What do you think?
Yeah, huh? There you go. The nerd cave, I think, is going to be the terminology down here. But anyway, this is it. This is what we got.
Looking good, man. I'm proud of you. I feel like we've made a stride. Somehow, we almost look like a show. Maybe one day we'll get our audio sorted out. We have all this technical stuff. Like, I am a professional film producer. That's what I do. Yet we just have no idea how to make produce a darn podcast. Apparently, it's too down low on the production value thing. So I just can't get anything right.
It's like one of those things, like it's too easy to go smooth.
Yeah, boy. What do you guys think of Michael Deeb's new studio? Let us know in the comments below right after you hit the subscribe, like, or notification button. Smash it. We've both got a big smash fist. It really looks bad when we do that.
I know, right? Wait.
Yeah, what is this show about? If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you and so glad that you're joining the herd of nerds. So what we do is we find the most interesting car of the day from all the automotive enthusiast auction sites, like Bring a Trailer, P-Car Market, Cars and Bids, whoever else happens to be out there. We find the most interesting car. Now, that most interesting car may not be the most expensive, rare, or exotic. We just we want to tell stories about cars. And so we find the car that we think is the most interesting one. We have a conversation about that car. We make a prediction as to what will happen with that car in its respective auction. And then at the end of the show, we travel into the future, we fast forward, boom, and we tell you what happened with that auction. When we record the show, we don't know. We picked the car. The car that we're going to talk about today is a live car in an auction. We don't know how much it's going to sell for. We are going to make a prediction and then resolve that prediction. We'll reconcile our predictions at the end. Play along with us. What do you think? Do you think this is something that do you think we're right? If you're watching the show, before you skip to the end, let's see if you're any better at this than we are. Put your bid in before you see what actually happens at the end, and play along if you don't know already. We're also launching a new website. Bidnerds.com is coming, and we're going to have a newsletter there where you can get our picks of the week ahead of time. So if you are a fan of the nerds, if you're part of the herd, and you want to play along with us and know about the cars that we're going to be talking about in future episodes, you can go ahead and make your own predictions. Play along with us. Maybe we'll have some prizes. We'll get some other people to play with us. And the people who are best at it, maybe we'll get sent some stickers or some swag. Look at this. We got a new water bottle. It's just a water bottle that I put a sticker on. It's not really something that we sell or anything, so don't hit us with an email saying you want to buy one because they're not available, but it sounds cool, right? Anyways, okay, let's get to the cars, right, Michael Deeb? People are here for the cars, not all this other stupid stuff. Yeah. He's like, finally, jeez Louise. All right, what's the most interesting car of the day? I don't know if I agree with you on this one. I think, man, here we go. Go for it.
JP, you were so upset about the last Mercedes AMG wagon that we covered. I decided to find something that I think you might actually love because it almost looks like a minivan. On Bring a Trailer is the 2007 Mercedes-Benz R63 AMG. I think Mercedes only made this car for 1 year. And they're like the Rocky Horror Picture Show of the Mercedes minivan lineup because this car has a cult following. The main reason is because unlike the straight sixes and V6s and maybe the V8s, this car has a stonking 6.2 liter AMG hand-built V8 that makes 500 horsepower and 465 pound-foot of torque. This thing is a minivan with a muscle car engine. Offered on Bring a Trailer out of Tempe, Arizona, our car has 132,000 miles on the odometer. These cars are employed by a 7-speed automatic. That's the only gearbox. They are all-wheel drive. They ride on 20-inch AMG wheels. Our car also has the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, which in these cars is actually pretty incredible. And then, JP, you may or may not have noticed, our car is also sitting on Sika, C-E-I-K-A, Sika coilovers, which aren't terribly expensive, but I love that somebody went out of the way to drop their AMG minivan to give it that look. You know what I mean? Like, that's just hilarious to me. So 132,000 miles probably sounds like it's all used up, but I don't think so. This car looks to be in really good cosmetic condition. I'm guessing that the guy who owned this car didn't actually have 5 kids that just ruined the car, or say 3 pit bulls or Labradors that would have also ruined the car. The car really looks like it's held up well. The desert is a dry climate for it as well. So 132,000 miles, it's worth noting because these cars rarely come up for sale. I just got a kick out of it when I saw it. For some reason, I think this car is hilarious. I love that they made it. And it cracks me up that they still bring a premium. So JP, with 132,000 miles, would you be a player for this Mercedes minivan if I told you it made 500 horsepower?
Good Lord, man. Look, cars like this, it's cool that it's got the 6.3 on it and stuff like that, but it's kind of like a 50-something-year-old guy who's wearing a hat that the hipsters wear in the arts district of town, thinking that he looks cool. He thinks that he's going to go buy a minivan if it has a 6.3 in it. He's somehow going to be cool. Is this thing going to be fun to drive? Yeah. If you're stuck driving a minivan, is this the one that you're going to want to drive? Sure, but cool? Heck no. This thing is the dumbest. Look, I know that neither of us are capable of making, a point. Like, you and I don't know what's cool when it comes to fashion. Clearly, right? I mean, dad hats are kind of in right now, but they look ridiculous on dads is the problem. You go into the store and they say, hey, dad hats. And you're like, oh, dad hats are hip, right? And it's hip if it's a 20-year-old wearing it. But if someone like me is wearing it, it looks absolutely patently ridiculous. The Frato brims for the longest time looked like this hat to me, and then I somehow came around to them. But no, look, this car is stupid. You're stupid for buying it. You're stupid for owning it. Mercedes was stupid for making them. It's just, look, if you have to drive a minivan, then just drive a minivan and deal with it. If you have enough money, how much is one of these brand new?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Ballpark, come on, but they're more than $100,000 brand new. This is probably a $150,000 car for a G63.
15 years ago.
I know,
15 years ago.
Yeah, okay, whatever. It was
80-something thousand.
So in today's dollars, that's easily $100-something thousand. Get a nanny, man. Make them drive the boring minivan so you don't have to. There's a solution for this. Jesus, this is just, or even I'll say this. This is going to come out of my nose. If you've got to drive something with this much room and travel around with the kids, then get an EV. At least that's get a Tesla or something. This thing
hurts to hear you say that.
God, this car is just so stupid, and you suck if you own this thing.
I love it.
Or want it. This car is for the person that just can't let go. Spend as little money as you have to on a family truckster, and spend the extra money on your sports car and drive that when you don't have to drive the minivan. And if you have enough money to get something other than a minivan, it's just like I said, hire a nanny to deal with the kids. This is dumb. How much is this thing worth? I don't know. Don't even care.
So JP, I think it's hilarious, and I think it'd be a hoot to drive. The car is sitting at $29,000 on let me read it to you, JP. I lost my notes here. On 9 bits, but it has several days to go. This is close to the weekend, so it's several days out. JP, believe it or not, I actually think this car is going to bring $40,000 because of the condition and because of the rarity. And I think it boils down to the fact that Mercedes only made it for 1 year. At a time when obviously Mercedes was still trying to sell everybody on the concept that AMG could make a performance version of any car that they built. They decided to roll this thing out for just 1 year. And like I said, they have a cult following. I do think this car is going to bring the money. I think it will hit 40 grand and sell at that price. So I'll send it back to you so you can poop on it one more time.
What's up with these panel gaps on the nose? That looks to me, I mean, look at that gap up here. That looks to me like this nose has been, it's like really, really tight over here and really big gap over there. Is that bad workmanship? You wouldn't expect that from Mercedes. Yet somehow that's, I think somebody had too much power and they were buying the Frappalata whatever Chino, and they rear-ended the guy who just had a normal minivan in front of him in the Starbucks line.
That's so true.
You know, so there's some other things about this car that make me think it's not really in that good a shape.
Here's a horrible sexist take. Somebody's wife was listening to the navigation. It said turn left now. It just went right into like the median, you know, jumped it and then hit the Jack in the Box head on the corner.
Everyone's blaming the wives for doing stuff like that. It's the guys that say, oh, honey, I'm going to get the cool minivan. There's no such thing as the cool minivan. That is an oxymoron. All these manufacturers try to do this. It's not happening. It doesn't work. We did an episode recently about a Ferrari Mondial, whatever. How pronounce it.
That car was nice.
And you brought up the whole analogy, the scooter thing, like a fat chick. It's fun to ride, but you don't want anybody to see you doing it. This. I would totally be happy to be seen in a Mondial. It has back seats. Put the stupid kids back there. Who cares if they're uncomfortable? They're children. Children don't need all this room and luxury and stuff like that. They're children. When I grew up, they put me in my parents had, a Datsun pickup King Cab, a 70s one. So that it wasn't like it had seats in the King Cab. There was room for stuff, including your 12-year-old apparently, with no seats, no seatbelts, anything. So kids need to have televisions and heated seats and all that stuff. Screw that. Make them sit on top of one another and be uncomfortable. It builds character. Jeez Louise. I hate this car. What is it at now?
$29,000.
So I'm gonna give it. Can I go negative? No, I don't know. Like, is there a way that the price could go down? No, some moron is going to pay 35 grand for this thing, and that's my number. I don't.
There you go. Good number.
Higher than that.
Well, stay tuned for this compelling result in just a few moments.
What do you guys think? Are you someone stupid enough to want to buy something dumb like this because you can't afford a sports car and a minivan, so you just have to combine it into one? Cool. Are you that kind of loser? Then be that guy or gal, as it were. Find out right after you hit the subscribe, like, and notification button, and we're going to find out how much this stupid minivan goes for right after this. Okay, guys, I want to tell you about Vegas Auto Fest. The drivers are coming. This is one of our big sponsors. It's the biggest car show of the year in Las Vegas. It's one of the coolest car shows you can possibly experience anywhere. If you haven't made plans to be part of Vegas Auto Fest on September 17th, then do it now. Go to vegasautofest.com and register your car. You think you're a car enthusiast? Doesn't matter where you live. Plan a trip to Vegas on September 17th and come out and see this show. It's like Monterey Car Week all in a day. Have you ever been to the Quail? Have you ever been to Works Reunion? Have you ever been to Amelia Island? All those car shows are amazing and great. Have you been to Luftkult? Sure, but Vegas Auto Fest is something special. Make a plan for September 17th. We'll see you in Vegas. And we're back to Bid Nerd, your daily nerd on the most interesting car of the day on all the automotive auction sites. I don't know about this episode, partner Michael Deeb. Look at this. He came all the way to Las Vegas
to gloat.
to gloat.
It's the only one I won this week, by the way.
Look at this stupid car. Are you still watching this episode? If you are, thank you very much. I always tell everybody to subscribe and like and share and hit the notification button. I don't blame you if you don't today, because this car is not interesting in any way other than, like we always say, the results sometimes are interesting. This is not a car that I find interesting in any way, but the results certainly are something to talk about. What happened with the auction on this, Michael Deeb, now that we're in the future?
Embrace the result, JP. I told you that this cult following was going to bid this number up to something you wouldn't be able to palate. Even with 132,000 miles, I thought this R63 would bring 40 grand. You laughed and took the under at 35, and they got all mad about the show and everything. I'm surprised you didn't crash the studio. Our car sold on Bring a Trailer for $42,999 on 33 bids. And just to make you laugh, as people were commenting on the result post-auction, post-hammer, somebody wrote Super PT Cruiser, and I just thought, I can't wait till JP hears that one, because that really does describe this boat anchor. But it's a fast boat anchor, I'll give you that. Anyways, who cares, right? I think it's really funny that Mercedes went and threw the AMG package at a minivan, a people mover, and these things are still bringing $43,000 with 132,000 miles on it. That's laughable, but not surprising. I'm not surprised.
How many miles does this thing have on it?
132,000.
Did I miss that somewhere? 130. Jeez.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? Because if it's not an AMG, this car isn't even worth 15 grand. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Less than
or
half.
5.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're on to something about, they just slapped a bet. I think they had a couple of engines left over.
Yep.
And someone opened up a room in the warehouse was like, look at all these Pacificas. This is just junk.
Yeah.
Whoever bought it deserves it.
Yeah. How do you say Aztec in German?
I mean, it's even kind of beat up. Look at the dents.
Oh, yeah, it's used. 132,000. This thing's back a book, and yet 43,000. That's a retail number.
How many bids were there?
33.
33 idiots wanted. Well, I don't know how many individual bidders there
two
were.
2 idiots.
Was it just 2 that were battling?
I don't know.
It out?
I didn't really follow the auction. I didn't care. But the Super PT Cruiser, I was like, that's
that
hilarious.
engine though, man. Is this like if
Normally
this car were
aspirated.
cheap and you could buy this car and take the engine and put it in something cool? Does anyone do that with Mercedes? I don't know. Our friend Mental Ward, who a lot of times helps produce our show, Porsche, the Dirt or Die Porsche podcast. He has, have a CLS 63?
Yeah.
So it's this powertrain, and his car is like blue on like tan. It's not the greatest color combination, but god dang, that thing is fast, right? And at least that car is low and sleek and has a cool look to it. It doesn't at all resemble a minivan. This thing is just, it's so funny, Mercedes with these big engines. Our friend Daniel reached out to me over the last week, and one of his
German Motors,
yep.
Yeah,
in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
One of his customers offered him his, what was it, a 2007 SL55.
Oh yeah, the supercharged one, right?
The supercharged, version of this engine, and with like 20-something thousand miles on it.
Yeah.
And I was all excited because it's black, and I'm like, oh, dude, okay. And the price was really, really good.
Yeah.
But then he sent me pictures, and it had a tan interior. Like, no. Like, I would have gone and bought that car
in a heartbeat
right then and there if it were black on black.
That's funny.
This car is like the worst shape. If you said, oh, I've got a Mercedes, it's like if your buddy calls you up, hey, I've got a Mercedes with a 6.3 engine in it.
Yeah.
It's silver on black. You're like, oh?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh? It's a minivan. Whoever bought this car sucks.
Get the